Okay, I'm not going to mute until just yeah, we'll give it in a couple of minutes. Right, so onto your back. So arms outstretched, palms down to the floor, and just roll knees from side to side. Oh, blimey. I did absolutely nothing yesterday, just basically just sat around, and my body doesn't like it very much. Oh. So as you're rolling your knees from side to side, if your back is as tight as mine, don't force your knees down to the ground, just have quite a natural movement. And then as your back relaxes a little bit, then you can just push your knees over and try and get them all the way down to the floor. I'm just going to mute everyone. Morning, Jane. Okay. All right. So staying on your back, now I'm going to cross one leg over. So I've got the outside of my foot just over my knee, and I'm going to dip my knee to the floor first of all. I'm going to do about 10 in each direction and then change leg. So this should feel a little bit more challenging than just rolling your knees from side to side. So a couple more. And then go the other way, so foot to floor. So this for me feels quite a lot harder. I can feel it working in sort of small of my back and going up the sides of my back. Okay, do a couple more. And then swap over. So outside of my foot, on my knee, knee to floor first of all. About 10. One more. And then the other way, foot towards the floor. Yeah, about 10 of these. One more, and then roll onto all fours. Going to do thoracic rotation, so fingertips on your temple, tuck under, and then rotate as much as your mobility allows. So for me, that's not very much. Oh, blimey. I think perhaps I should have moved a bit yesterday and not just watched terrible, terrible films on Netflix all day. Keep going. One more. And then change size. So again, tuck under and rotate up. Okay, do a couple more. And then you're going to do, so take your knees slightly apart, feet together, stretch your arms out in front of you. You're going to do a little child pose and then push up into a cat stretch. About 5 of those. So down to a child pose, then up to a cat stretch, trying to stretch out your mid back as much as you can. When you push up into the cat stretch, tuck your bum under. Let's do one more. And then roll onto your back. Straight leg kicks. So hold your head up in your hands. One leg straight, one leg bent. And kick up your straight leg. So just holding your head up off the floor slightly to keep your lower back pressed down to the ground. If your hips are a bit tight, don't worry about kicking too high. Keep it nice and steady. but try and keep your leg as straight as you can. Lovely. And then change sides. Do a couple more. And then roll onto your front again. Alternate arm and leg extensions. So very slow and steady for this one. Think about keeping your core braced, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Slowly extend. Keeping your thumb pointing up to the sky or the ceiling. It's a nicer position for your shoulders. And make sure that you're not raising your leg too high up behind you. So trying to finish your heel at about bum height. Keep your core braced all the time. Try not to rotate too much as you move. Extend your arm and leg. I wouldn't be surprised if there are thunderstorms today. It's really humid again. Keep going. Another 10 seconds. Good. And then roll onto your side. So I'll just show you first of all, modified side plank arm extension. So lie on your side with your leg bent underneath you. Make sure your shoulder is directly underneath, sorry, your elbow is directly underneath your shoulder. Push up, and you're just going to reach across your body like that. 30 seconds on each side. So you're keeping your hips still, pushed up nice and high, and just reach and extend. So it's a pressing movement. Really push into it, big, big extend. One more. And then roll over, other side. So again, leg tucked underneath you, make sure your elbows underneath your shoulder. Off you go. 30 seconds again. So pressing up. Well done. .30 seconds again. That's it, 3, 2, 1, good. On to all fours again. We're going to do alternate arm and leg extensions, but this time we're just going to do one arm and one leg for 30 seconds. So I'm going to extend my right arm and my left leg for 30 seconds and then to the other side. Off you go. If you want to make this a bit more challenging, do it as a little tuck. So don't put your hand and your knee onto the floor. If you want to make it harder, keep your arm and leg up. So be really careful you're not leaning too much onto the side, that you're not moving. 2, 1, and change. So again, if you want to make it a bit easier, place your hand and knee to the floor between each one. If you want to make it harder, make it a tuck. Keep going, 10 more seconds. Good, and done. And then up you get, squats. So, feet in a good squat position, turned out slightly, one arm out in front of you, other arm resting on your shoulder. So you're going to be doing a squat with one arm extended. Don't worry about how low you get. You just squat as low as is comfortable and then stand up. Kate, if you want to modify this for your knees, if you've got a chair or something you can do you can sit onto, so you can do like a sit to stand. I shall show you the chair that's not actually very good for this because it's got arms, but so you can do this. So sit on a chair and stand and then sit down again. And it's a bit nicer for your knees doing it that way. And then change arms. So fold the other arm across your body squat and come up. Well done. So I'm not too concerned about how deep you squat at this point. I want you to really focus on keeping your chest nice and high so you're not bending over. Keep looking straight ahead. 10 more seconds. And done. Right, back onto the floor. Side plank again. Again, in this modified position. So you're going to push up, arm up above your shoulder, and you're going to tuck your arm round and then stretch up. Keeping your hand close to your body. So you're tucking under, rotating, and pushing up again. Lovely, well done. Nice and slow and steady. You can look at your hand as well as you do this. One more. And then change sides. Because you're doing a rotational movement, be really conscious that you have got your elbow directly underneath your shoulder. You want to protect your shoulder joint as much as you can. So push up, arm nice and high, off you go. Tuck your arm under, stretch up. Again, look at your hand if you want to. Keep going. Nice, let's do one more. And then done. Okay, forget. If you have a lightweight with you, you can use this now. So I've only got a 1.5 kilograms, very light. Okay, we're going to squat again. So if you want to use something to sit down onto, so this time, that arm extension, but you're going to have a weight in your hand. So one arm folded across your chest, I'm just resting it on my shoulder, other arm out in front, off you go, and squat 30 seconds on each arm. So holding your arm outstretched like this is quite challenging, quite quickly. If you can't maintain a straight arm for the full 30 seconds, just bring your arm in, so you're bending it, but keep hold of the weight and keep squatting. So I'm holding this with my palm facing down because it's comfortable for my shoulder. You can hold it that way. 5 seconds. Good. Change sides. Off you go. Well done, lovely. Just keep an eye on you. Okay, doing that sit to stand actually looks really good. Does that feel okay? Does it feel better? Well done. Good. Lovely squats. 5 seconds. Good, and done. Right, back down to the floor. So alternate arm and leg extensions again. If you want to modify to progress this a little bit, so this, do a tuck. So extend, tuck, extend, and then change. Extend, tuck, extend, and change. Or you can just stick with doing what we're doing to start off with, alternate arm and leg extensions. So off we go. Choose the one that challenges you. If extensions are hard enough, stick with that. If you want to make it harder, go for the tucks. My God, I'm sweating so much, considering how little movement I'm doing. It's so humid. Halfway, 30 seconds. Keep going. Almost there. And then it's back to side plank reach. and then down. Fab. Onto your side. Right, so your option for a progression for this one, the arm movement stays the same, but if you want to make this side plank harder, push up into a full side plank, and you're going to extend your arm. So that's how you progress it. 3, 2, 1, off you go. So if you start in a full side plank and you can't maintain that for the full 30 seconds, that's fine. Just tuck your leg underneath you. But keep moving, keep your hips raised. Well done. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, change sides. If you are doing this as a full side plank, just be aware of what your hips are doing. So you want to have your hips stacked one on top of the other. And off you go. So if you're in the full position, you're finding you're wobbling around quite a lot, then just put your leg underneath you. Keep yourself a bit more stable. Lovely, looking good, well done. Keep going. Last few seconds. Good, and then squats again. So this time we're going to go straight into the squat where you're holding the weight. So the first time it was just without, just holding your hand out. So grab your weight and it's arm extended in front of you again. All right, get ready. 3, 2, 1, off you go. So again, 30 seconds on each side. If it gets too much with your arms straight, then just bend your arm a little bit. Looking good though. So the purpose for doing this squat with your arm just extended out in front of you is it's a lot more challenging for your core. You're having to fight harder to keep your chest up. So your core has to work harder. Good, change sides. Well done. It's fine to bend your arm if it gets tired. Last few seconds. 2, 1, and done. Back onto all fours again. So alternate arm and leg extensions, sorry, tucks rather. So what you do, one arm and one leg. So you extend and tuck and extend. So you're not going to put your hand on your knee down. You're staying this extension, 30 seconds on each side. Off we go. So what will probably happen is that you'll want to try and lean onto the leg that you're supporting yourself on. Try and fight that as much as possible. Keep your hips pointing straight down to the ground. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1, change sides. And again, fight not to let yourself lean onto one leg. Keep going. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, good. Back onto side plank. So this time it's the rotation. Now, if you want to make this challenging without going into a full side plank, you can grab a weight. So stick for the modified side plank, weight up and then tuck the weight around your body, press up. You can, of course, do it with the weight and as a full side plank. Challenge yourself as much as you can. You should be nice and warm by now. I know I am. 10 seconds. Change sides. Okay, off you go. Lovely, well done. And I'm sweating. There's something about high humidity. I'm not able to cope with it as well since I had the hysterectomy. 2, 1, and then up you get. So last set of the squats with the weight. So this time, rather than holding the weight out to the front of you, we're going to do it as a lateral movement. So again, one arm across, one arm out to the side. This is going to be really hard to hold your arm out straight for the full 30 seconds. So when you can't do it anymore, bring it in like that. So hold your arm out straight, either thumb up or palm down for as long as you can. And then as your arm gets too tired, just bring it in. 30 seconds on each side, off you go. If it hurts your shoulder, bring it in. Well, you managed to hold a baby on one arm then. Okay. Oh, there we go. My arm said that's enough. Last few seconds. Change sides. Off you go. Well done. Ten seconds. Three, 2, 1. Good. Rest. Kate, how are your knees doing all these squats? Is that all right? Yeah. I think sit to stand is a lot more comfortable. Okay, next set. Dead bugs. So with your weight, everyone else is sweaty as me. Oh my word. It might still be sweating off some of the Prosecco from Saturday night. That's the other problem. Okay, so dead bugs. Holding the weight in one hand and just doing normal leg extensions. So just holding the weight in one hand. So what that will do is it'll pull you over to one side slightly and you have to resist it. So you may feel it working in your waist a little bit harder. And as always, really fight to keep your back flat down to the floor. So it's 30 seconds on each hand. Okay, let's go. So arms don't move. You're just extending your legs, keeping your back pushed hard down to the floor. And watch where your knees finish as well. So you don't want to finish your knees tucked in too much. Try and keep your legs vertical. If you're really struggling to keep your lower back flat to the floor, just raise your legs a little bit higher. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. Change arms. And then keep extending your legs. Trying to keep your back down all the time. Ten more seconds. Keep going. 3, 2, 1. Good, done. Bear crawls. So everyone to your front. Going to get into this low static bear crawl. So my knees are just barely off the ground. Hands under my shoulders. You can make it more challenging by having your hands further out. You're just going to hold that for 30 seconds. No movement. 3, 2, 1, off you go. So if you can see yourself on your screen, see what your back is doing. Try not to have your back rounded. Make sure your knees are just barely off the ground, mine are about 1 inch off the floor. Halfway. 10 seconds. You'll be starting to shake. 3, 2, 1, and release. Stand up. Oh, that was horrible. Well done. I know. My goodness. Right, bent over fly. So I'll demonstrate this one first. Weight in one hand. Bend over as if you're going to do a deadlift. So you're all the way over, like that. Now I will put my hand on either side, but you don't have to. You can have your hand on the waist. And you're going to bring your arm up just to shoulder height and then back down again. I'll show you from the front. So bend over all the way so you can balance something across your back and it wouldn't roll off. Arm out to shoulder height and down. So if you look at my finished arm position, it's not dead straight, it's a little bit of a bend. 30 seconds on each arm. Let's go. Keep looking down to the floor unless you need to check form with me. So even though your arm is moving, keep your core braced. Glutes and hamstrings, you should feel your legs working as well to stabilize as you're moving your arm. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and change sides. So again, make sure your core is engaged. Off we go. If you can feel your lower back working at all, brace your core even more. So pull your navel to your spine. Keep it squeezed. Hopefully feel your bottom working as well. Keep going. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. Good. Right, back onto your back now. So we're going to do dead bug with a weight in one hand again. This time moving your arms and your legs. So rather than keeping your arms still, you're going to move them. So this is potentially tricky for your shoulders. If your shoulder joints don't like this kind of overhead movement, then stick with the first exercise. But this is going to be dead bug like that. So just holding the weight in one hand and then coming up again. And if it pulls in your shoulder at all, just hold arms static. Start now if you haven't. Again, 30 seconds on each side. So what you should feel is that the arm that you're moving in with the weight in, it's not just your arm that's working, it should be pulling into your core a little bit harder on that side as well. 3, 2, 1, change sides. Don't drop the weight on your head. Off you go. And again, watching your back all the time. Keep it pushed down to the floor. Keep going. Last few seconds. Good, and done. Bear crawl again. So this time we have the option of progressing it a little bit. So rather than just holding the static bear crawl, you can move your arms a bit. So get into position. And you're going to do, if you can, tapping out to the side. Now, if you can't do that, if you're really rocking around from side to side, just stick with the static bear crawl and don't move anything. Again, it's 30 seconds for this. 3, 2, 1, off you go. So be aware of what your knees are doing. You're trying not to let your hips rock from side to side too much as you're doing this. So if you watch your knees, trying to keep them as level as possible. They will move, but it's trying to limit the movement as much as you can. That's the idea of this exercise. It's an anti-rotation exercise. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Ugh. Up you get. Right, we're going to repeat the bent over fly, but this time in a kickstand position. So rather than standing with your feet together, we're going to have 1 foot forward, 1 leg back on the toes. So I've got my left foot forward and I'm going to be using my right hand. And when I say change sides, change feet, change arms. 30 seconds on each side again. So into that kickstand position, off we go. So what you should feel is that your bottom on your front leg is working harder than it did do for the first set. Keeping your core braced all the time. Keep going. Last few seconds. 2, 1, and then change sides. So change arms, change legs. 3, 2, 1, off you go. Again, just being aware of how high you're lifting up your arm. You don't want it to be very much more than shoulder height. Keep going. Good. And like last time, keep looking down at the floor as much as you can unless you need to check form. Core braced. 3, 2, 1, and done. Good. Right, we're going to repeat those again. So have a drink if you need it. I'm going to have a drink. It's so warm. All right, so dead bugs again. Same as before. So there is a way to progress this, and that is rather than moving alternate legs, you keep one leg stable. So the same leg as you've got your arm, weight in your arm. Just going to extend one leg at a time. So if you want to progress it, that's how you do it. Just move one leg, not two. And off you go. So if you're doing it this way, you'll find it a bit harder in your waist, hopefully. And remembering to just keep focus on your back, keep it pushed down. 3, 2, 1. Change arms, change legs as well, if that's what you're doing. Off you go. Well done. Good. Watch your back. I know I always say it, but I have to keep reminding myself of my own head because it just drifts off the floor otherwise. 3, 2, 1. Back to the bear crawl. So your options for this one, again, static, so you could not move at all and just hold it. Or you can go back to that hand tap movement. So choose the one that challenges you. Try and do the hand tap if you can. 30 seconds. All right, 3, 2, 1, off you go. Trying not to move your knees too much. So it's resisting the rotation as much as you can. That's the idea of all these exercises we're doing now. This whole set is our anti-rotation exercises. It's moving one bit of your body while you're stabilizing another, basically. Okay, get ready. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Lovely, well done. Bent over flies again. So you can either go back to the deadlift, so just both feet together, or you can go for the kickstand. Off you go. Good, well done. Make sure you're bent over enough. You want your back pretty much parallel to the floor doing this. The lower you bend over, the more you'll use your back. If you stand up too high, you'll use your chest muscles too much. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and change sides. Off you go. Well done. Good. Keeping it slow all the time. So kind of 1.5 up, 1.5 down movement. And 3, 2, 1, down. Good. Okay, dead bugs again. So same as before. Full dead bug with the weight in your hand, if that's comfortable. If not, you can hold it static, or you can just do the one leg movement again. Right, off you go. My brain doesn't like this. Always takes me a few attempts when I've got a weight in my hand. I don't know why. And keeping your back pushed down. Three, 2, 1, change sides. Off you go. Good, keep going. And done. Lovely. Right, last bear crawl of the day, I promise. So choose the one that you want, but we're going to show you a slightly harder one, which is rather than doing the tap out to the side, going to do a shoulder tap. So that's your option. You want to make it even more challenging. 30 seconds, off you go. So this shoulder tap option is even harder to keep your hips stable, so really fight not to let yourself move around too much doing this. 10 seconds. It's so hard to stay still. 3, 2, 1. And then up. Last set of bent over flies in a kickstand position. So if you've been doing the whole thing with your feet together, definitely do the kickstand for this one. So one foot in front of the other, and down. Tip forward all the way. Lovely, off you go. 30 seconds on each side. Let's go. So I've got left foot forward, moving my right arm, so it's opposites. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. Change sides. Last one. Off you go. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. and done. Fab. All right, just a couple of minutes, something more high intensity, get you sweating even more to finish off with, and then we can stretch. So you're going to do bear crawl, kind of lying when I said that was it. So this time, bear crawl position like that, and I want you to move sideways. 20 seconds of that, and then you're going to get up nice and low and just do some little 4 back runs like that, staying crouched down, and then back into bear crawl again 3 times, and that's it to finish off with. Is everyone all right doing bear crawl moving? If it's going to hurt your shoulders, stay static. So if it hurts your shoulders moving from side to side, hold the static bear crawl again, stay low. All right. If that's too much as well, you can do a plank. You do 20 seconds of plank instead. All right, 3, 2, 1. 20 seconds. Side to side. Up your mat. Staying nice and low. 5 seconds. 2, 1, up. Move up and down. So stay crouched. Just a few steps up and down. Off we go. My legs don't want to do this morning. Keep going. 3, 2, 1, and then back down to bear crawl. 20 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. I'm just going through this twice. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. Up you get. Last little shuffle, forward and back. 20 seconds. Off you go. Keep going. 10 seconds. 2, 1. Done. Oh, well done. Grab a drink and we'll stretch out. Ugh. This weather's a bit grim. I'm under a gazebo now, so if it starts raining, it's all fine. Right, down onto the floor, into child pose. That's it, well done. Well done this one. So, take your arms over to one side. And then over to the other side. Then hands underneath your shoulders. Push up into cat stretch. Then tuck your toes under. Push your bum up nice and high. Try and keep your legs straight. Push your heels down a bit more if you can. And then down onto your knees. Good. 1 foot forward. Tuck your bum under. Push forward. Stretch across your hip. Well done. So I've got my left foot forward. My right arm is going to reach across. And then swap. So swap sides, foot forward, tuck your bum under, push forward. And bring your arm over, reach across. Well done. And then glutes, glute stretch. Leg underneath you, slide down. So well done. Another few seconds. And then change sides. So straight arm plank, leg underneath, down you go. Good, and then slowly up you get. Well done. And then just roll down, near your toes. Take a few deep breaths. And then slowly stretch up. Arms nice and high. Oh, gazebo in the way. Well done. Done. All done. Well done.